This is the third part in a 4-part series. I'll be uploading these videos weekly, except for this week, because I made a video on all the games I played in 2020, actually. If you want to check that out, that'd be pretty neat. Also, be sure to subscribe to remind you of the part 5 video, because apparently YouTube hasn't been recommending my videos. Spoiler warning for part 4, so you've been warned. Okay, let's start the video. Diamond is Unbreakable, or Part 4, is a relatively low-stakes plot, involving a serial killer in the small town of Moria. What appeared to be a normal town is full of anything but that. You see this guy? Guess how old he is? 30? No, he's 16. And this guy? Yeah, he's 15. And they go to the same school. Stan's return in this part are way better than in Part 3. They're simple enough to understand, but have a little twist that makes them unique. Crazy Diamond can punch fast like Star Platinum, but it can also fix objects, allowing for entertaining fights. Certain Stan like Koichi's echoes can evolve, which is a cool concept because since Stans are the manifestation of your soul, it really only makes sense as a person grows or Stan does as well. This isn't Pokemon, so It only shows up in this part anyway until Part 7, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Characters in this part are my favorite, and not even just the main characters. Every character gets enough time to shine and have their own time in the spotlight. At one point, the characters will be fighting someone, and a few episodes later, they will return for a small cameo. It makes the world of Morio feel real and lived in. That it really is a small community full of larger-than-life characters. And when we do get scenes of Kira, it gets you intrigued by the mystery that the characters don't even know yet. Josuke is a great protagonist. He feels like a teenager just trying to help everyone out, whether that be dating advice or healing his friends after being attacked. Okuyasu is really funny as well. He carries a lot of grief with him, and while he does lack in smarts, he makes up in everything else. I know everyone complains about Okuyasu not using his stand properly, but I disagree. The hand isn't that great of a stand anyway because of how slow and easy its tell is. It's a low-budget cream, basically. Love the design though. Josuke and Okuyasu have such good chemistry, it's honestly incredible. Anytime with these two is a blast, and they are my favorite duo in the entire series. Koichi one with Josuke is a really good combo as well. However, after Rohan is introduced, Koichi has episodes with him, and splitting up screen time between these two duos is genius. Koichi is actually the one that finds out about the ghost alleyway and Kira's first victim, Remy, not Josuke. It keeps the show fresh and never feels repetitive. Rohan is also a great character introduced at a great time as well. His dynamic with Koichi is great, and they also have great chemistry. I also love the dynamic of a character that just hates the main character. Rohan also has the coolest stand, even though it introduces a whole lot of plot holes. Jotaro is even better in this part, because he's more of a mentor character and is only used in a few scenes. In those fights, he's really just there to highlight just how strong the enemy stand user is. Moria is also an excellent setting for this part as well. It's nice to have a fake city with pink skies. It really is just the icing on this cake that differentiates this part from the others. The most controversial character in this part is honestly hilarious. I love older Joseph, and his few moments really shine. Also, can I just say how cool it is that Joseph's story starts with his wallet being stolen, and also ends with it being stolen? Time for the character you've all been waiting for. Yoshigage Kira. Kira actually does a really cool thing by being a JoJo villain that has goals that the audience understand and aren't stupid. He's tactical and doesn't take risks when not necessary. He avoids conflict at all costs. His stand is horrifying, and being able to wipe anyone out from existence just like that without a trace is chilling. The first kill we see him do is on a 13-year-old kid that screams for help. After he steals a face to run away, it really shows just how slimy he is, sneaking back into the shadows and plotting his next move. The small scenes we get with him trying to blend in with his new family are fantastic. Without these small scenes, Kira wouldn't be as great as he is. When he genuinely gets nervous when he kills Ho, it's such a great character moment. The only character I don't like is Kira's ghost dad. Ghosts aren't that weird of a concept, especially considering everything else in this part. It just felt forced so he could make new stand users with the arrow, when just having a random stand user shoot other people would be better overall. The overall tone of Diamond is Unbreakable is an action comedy, and while 90% of action comedies suck, this is the exception. The first few episodes are really edgy and dark. I did not like that. I was really hoping for something different. But after the Niji Mura arc, they dropped that overall tone, except for with the Kira stuff, and you might be thinking, well, does Part 4 suffer from tonal whiplash because of these two conflicting tones? No. It honestly makes the Kira stuff stand out and more memorable because of that conflict in tone of, ooh, this is fun adventure, oh, this guy murdered people, ooh. I've watched Part 4 3 times now, and I never had a problem with the tone. Another thing this part does great is the overall pacing and episode structure. Most episodes are one-parters and don't change that unless the fight is important, similar to the travel arc in Part 3. Some of the fights in Part 4 aren't even fight. One of my favorite episodes out of all of JoJo is episode 10, where Josuke and Okuyasu just eat Italian. The whole time you're waiting for the chef to be revealed to be an enemy stand user, because that's what you expect. But no, he's just a chill dude that makes food. Episodes like this are how you build a solid connection between two characters. It is shocking that episode where they literally are just eating food is just as fun as it is. Jotaro and Josuke hunting rats was something I never knew I wanted, but I'm glad it happened. Okuyasu and Josuke meet an alien, and Josuke uses it to cheat against Rohan. The funny moments in the show are actually funny as well. I know JoJo's a more comedic shonen, but honestly, part 3 never made me laugh, except for one instance, but that was with Joseph, so it doesn't count. But part 4 is hilarious. I normally don't laugh out loud to myself when watching a TV show or movie, but part 4 is just my cup of tea.
今ぶっ殺すって言ってたじゃねえかよ。いくらこいてカルピスウォーターガクラにこぼしちまったんだよ。
Interactions between characters, so when characters like these get along so well, I just enjoy myself. The hands down best thing this part does are its transitions between episodes. In part 3, same structure every episode. For example, in part 4, when Josuke cheats against Rohan, that's not something that just forgotten about. Rohan finds a stand user, and Josuke doesn't believe him because he thinks he's just messing with him because Josuke cheated. And it's the perfect transition to the highway starfight. 2-part fights are really 1.5-part fights, honestly. Rocky got really creative with stands this part as well, and that makes them way more interesting than before. It's like he just realized what the potential that stands had. Even the filler episodes, which are the last few fights, are great. The Tuesday arc is perfect, mixing fights between Rohan, this paper guy, and Electric Pylon. None of these fights are the same either, so when you switch to them, it's different fighting-wise and also tonally. Rohan's fight is more of a comedic fight, Josuke and Okuyasu get an average fight, but you add the funny alien just for some spice, and paper guy is slowly tactically killing people off. After those fights, Kira commits the coolest and most brutal kill and is found out by his fake son Hayato. After a genuinely uncomfortable encounter with Kira, Hayato gets killed by Kira. Just for context, there are now stand arrows that give you your stand if you have the potential, but the arrow accidentally pierces Kira even though he already has a stand, and he has a new ability. Killer Queen 第3の爆弾バイツァーダスト Bites of Dust is a horrifying ability that rewinds time after an hour once Hayato tells someone who Kira is. In the Bites the Dust loop, they are dead at the same time, even if they don't ask in that loop. Kira is changing destiny, basically. Hayato calls Josuke and Josuke decks Kira completely. Josuke and Okuyasu are about to take down Kira. Kira uses the dead cat plant thing he found and kills Okuyasu. Oh no! Josuke and Hayato retreat to the house to find out how Kira is finding them. After a really out-of-place scene, like, come on guys, I thought you were better than that.
We were so close! So close. We tripped at the finish line. Why? Because our little Iraqi has to go all bullshit.
Josuke gets Kira to kill his dad, and with the help of Okuyasu, after some soul searching, has Kira on his last legs. Then an ambulance appears, and Kira is about to activate Bites the Dust to rewind time. But Jotaro stops time just at the right moment. Kira then gets run over by a reckless driver and dies. This is the best way to kill Kira, as no one will be held responsible. It's also a really cool concept that the town he haunted for years is the thing that finally kills him. But if we are being honest, what really kills Kira is his final victory, tricking him into getting dragged into hell. After a final goodbye to Remy, we end on a montage with all the characters we met and them living their best life. I love this part, and didn't want it to end, but it's better to end when you're good and not stretch yourself out until you run out of ideas. It's really hard to come up with problems for this part. I'm not even just saying that, I genuinely mean it. Kira's dad is that's really it. I could recommend this even if you didn't watch JoJo before. Please check this part out, you won't regret it.